Hello everyone and welcome back to our emergency series. Today is day 16, Mayday 16. So today we're talking about a loss of control in VFR weather conditions. So you might be asking yourself, loss of control in VFR, how is that even possible? So in this video we'll talk about how you can get into this scenario and then how you can recover from one and how to prevent yourself from even getting into this situation to begin with. So here's the scenario. So let's say you depart from a New York airport and you want to fly to, say, I don't know, Martha's Vineyard. It's in the evening, the sun is going down as you take off, and very soon it'll be dark. So the weather is overcast, and as you fly away from the city lights, along your route of flight, you'll be over water, you'll turn towards the open water at night, and then you'll start your descent. A dark evening, over water, no horizon, yet completely VFR conditions, maybe a little bit of haze coming in there, and then you get spatially disoriented, lose control of the aircraft in VFR weather conditions. So you probably all know the accident that I just outlined. So how can you get into the situation? Well, for loss of control in VFR conditions, this could happen at night or in certain weather conditions when you don't have a clearly defined horizon. So different illusions that you can see cause a conflict between the actual attitude of the aircraft and what the pilot perceives the aircraft's attitude is. Or at night, in dark locations over land or water, especially on an overcast night, there can be almost no visual reference to the horizon, and for all practical purposes, it might as well be IFR conditions. So if a pilot gets disoriented, they might not be aware of their orientation error, and this can be compounded if the pilot is doing other things in the cockpit, right? Like you're reviewing checklists, or you're fumbling with your iPad. And if you're trying to do like specific maneuvers, like a climbing turn or a descending turn, this can also compound the problem. And without proper training, it's easy to have a tendency to pitch or roll the aircraft so you feel right instead of doing what the instruments tell you to do. So if you find yourself in a flight upset or an unusual attitude, what are the recovery procedures? So first you need to figure out, are you nose high or are you nose low, right? So the typical scenario here is a descending turn. So glancing at your airspeed indicator will confirm. If it's rapidly increasing, then you first want to pull the power back to prevent overstressing the aircraft. Your descending altimeter and VSI can back up the airspeed indications. Then after the power is back, right, neutralize the ailerons or roll the wings level using aileron and then rudder. And then this can be accomplished by referencing the attitude indicator if it hasn't tumbled, or worst case, the turn coordinator. And then lastly, slowly adjust the pitch then for level flight. So getting into that situation and recovering from it doesn't sound like very much fun. So how do we keep ourselves from getting into that mess even to begin with? Well, maybe it starts by having good personal minimums and even more stringent set of those minimums for flying at night. So flying in dark areas at night, over water, no moon, an overcast layer, you almost might as well be in IMC conditions. Think twice if you were able to make this flight and if there is a likelihood of an absence of outside visual references. So even in the daytime, there have been cases of pilots becoming spatially disoriented in barely VFR weather conditions, right? Try flying in 3 miles and haze. You really need to focus because 3 miles visibility is not that far. So just because it's VFR doesn't mean you can't get spatially disoriented. So trust your instruments if you lose the horizon and start having conflicting senses. So practice being under the hood, or even better yet, get your instrument rating. So thanks everyone for watching today. Keep the blue side up. Hope to catch you tomorrow on day 17. Fly safe.